Hallelujah. Hi, I'm Caleb Jones, and this is Unchained CEO. We talk about how to develop your own location-independent business that sets you free from your 9-to-5 job and setting up an international backup plan, or perhaps even moving to a less bad country and doing all these things for very little money. And as I've been talking about before, I'm going to do 2 segments to this live stream and two separate videos. So I'm going to introduce myself more than once, and that's just the way it goes. And then I will answer your questions. For those of you who are live on the live stream, sorry I'm late. I was answering questions for the guys from the Unchained Action Table, which you can still get if you want, because that's now an ongoing program. That's at www.caleb.top/UAT. That's where I work with you directly, long-term. It's a monthly program. Check it out if you want. We're having a lot of fun in that program. The guys are having a lot of fun. What else do I want to say before I get to my topics? I guess that's it. I'll talk about the outcome independence training I'm doing this Sunday a little later. Cool? Cool. All right. New video. Adjust my camera a little bit. Hang on. Adjust it again. That looks pretty good. Okay. It's just a mic. Cool. All right. The vast majority of the arguments you see against moving to any particular country on the internet are wrong. That is not a hypey statement. That is a statement of literal truth. When you start discussing a country or see a country discussed on YouTube, social media, Twitter, wherever, you will always get X number of people who say that country is terrible because, and they will give you a reason that is either false or something that doesn't apply to you if you move there as a location-independent Westerner. And so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to show you the 5 categories of these silly arguments that people make against these countries, so you understand why these people are full of shit. If you didn't know, my name is Caleb Jones, and I teach people how to create location-independent companies and live international lifestyles and do that for very little money so you can escape the collapsing West and live a better life. So, am I saying that there are no negatives of any country? No. So my 2 countries of choice where I live, 7 months a year I live in Dubai, 5 months a year I live in Paraguay. I'm in Paraguay right now. I have been very honest and very objective and very upfront that there are negatives to these 2 countries. They are, in my opinion, 2 of the best countries to live in the world for a massive number of reasons that I've gone through in great detail in other videos, podcasts, blog posts, blah, blah, blah. But I have been very honest and said, yes, there are negatives of living in Dubai. There are negatives of living in Paraguay. But guess fucking what? There's negatives of living in the collapsing USA, in living in cuckoo Canada, living in breakdown Britain, living in authoritarian Australia. And those negatives are far worse than any of the negatives you could find in the countries that we recommend, of which there is about 25. So when you see a country discussed that you are possibly interested in, and you see a whole bunch of negative comments on that country, here's what you need to evaluate. Instead of saying there can never be any negatives or everything negative someone is saying about this country is true, there is a rational, objective midpoint. Are there negatives of countries? Yes, every country has some negatives. There's no such thing as a perfect country. You can't move to heaven. Sorry, that doesn't work. Any country you move to escape the collapsing West will have bits and pieces you don't like. You can't move somewhere perfect. But on the overall, it will still be a far better country for you to live in terms of your taxes, your income, your personal life, your dating life, and your overall happiness, as well as protection from A, the collapse of the Western world, which is going to happen in your lifetime, and B, the AI takeover, however you want to define the word takeover, which is definitely going to happen in the next few years at some point. Make sense? So there are 5 categories of these bullshit negative excuses or negative arguments that people make against countries. They have made them against Dubai when I talk about Dubai. They've made them against Paraguay when I talk about Paraguay. They've made them against Mexico when I talk about Mexico. They've made them against Armenia. Any country I recommend and any country you see recommended, you'll see people come out of the world. Oh, that country sucks because here's how to identify these stupid arguments. The first one, look at my notes here. First one is things that are false. So this is particularly true of Dubai. Especially when Americans who don't know anything about the world talk about Dubai. If you say the F word, you'll get arrested. False. Not true. You can't drink alcohol in Dubai. False. Not even true. If you have premarital sex, they'll throw you in prison in Dubai. False. All false. The most arguments I see against Dubai are ones that aren't even true. So what you need to do is when you see something saying, well, that country's terrible because if you go there, then this will happen. You need to do your own research, Google or AI, and see if that is actually true, especially in the day and era which you're talking about. Now, there are negatives. Dubai is an example. There are negatives of Dubai that existed back in 2011 that don't exist today. I have said many times, I would never, ever live in Dubai in 2011. The 2011 version of Dubai was indeed authoritarian. I would never live there. The 2025 version of Dubai looks literally nothing like the 2011 version. And when people say, I read a scary article where a guy dropped a cigarette or whatever the hell it was, got thrown in jail for 6 months in Dubai and there were no toilets. And you look at the date of the article, it was 2011. Does that happen now? No. So number one, top list are things that people say that are negative about countries that are fucking false, that sound right, but are actually false, which is the definition of societal programming as I talk about my books. Societal programming means things that sound right, that sounds right, but are totally false. Like Republicans are full of small government. That sounds right. It's totally wrong. Same thing. So you have to verify through independent sources if these random comments you're seeing, don't go. Now here's one about Paraguay. Don't go to Paraguay. You'll get dengue fever. I've been coming to Paraguay months a year since 2018. I've never met anyone who had dengue fever. There are Westerners, Americans, some of my clients who live here in Paraguay. They never got dengue fever. What the hell? Huh? False, 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 false. So that's number one. Things people say that are literally not true. Okay, that's category number one. Category number two. Negative arguments people say about countries that are irrelevant, completely irrelevant to you living in that country. Here's one of my favorite ones regarding, again, Dubai. They have poop trucks. As soon as I see someone on the internet bash Dubai by saying they have poop trucks, I know I'm dealing with someone who doesn't like Dubai for various emotional reasons and is trying to reach for reasons to tell people why Dubai is bad. They're not being rational, factual, accurate, or objective. Poop trucks. One building that I'm aware of, the Burj Khalifa, has poop trucks in Dubai out of thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon thousands of buildings all over Dubai. Dubai has about 4 or 5 downtown skyscraper areas. Yes, one building has poop trucks. Here's the question when you see one of these excuses. How is that relevant to me if I move to Dubai? Go ahead. They have poop trucks because I saw a YouTube video that says they have poop trucks. Okay, one building in one area of town out of the thousands there have poop trucks. How does that affect me as a location-independent Westerner living in Dubai? Go ahead, please. But that just says something bad about their infrastructure. Okay, that was a dumb decision to make on their infrastructure. How does that affect me as a location-independent Westerner living in Dubai, getting all the advantages, tax and lifestyle advantages that Dubai offers? Go ahead. Nothing. So it is technically true, but completely fucking irrelevant to you as a Westerner. Here's one about Paraguay and many other lower-end countries. People, the average person in Paraguay makes $400 a month. Okay. Do you make $400 a month as a Westerner? No, you probably make a lot more than that, don't you? Even if you're poor by Western standards. How is that relevant to you? Go ahead, please. It's not relevant. So there's all kinds of little factoids that people can pull on the internet from various YouTube videos and negative things said about countries and throw them at you when you say Dubai, Paraguay, Mexico, Panama, whatever, Philippines. They go, but this country, how is it relevant to me as a location-independent Westerner? How is it relevant? It's not. I have seen people attack various countries that I recommend, and they will list in their comment 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 things, and they're all irrelevant. They're true, but they're not relevant at all to you as a Westerner. So you have to look at, A, is it true? B, is it relevant? By the way, those are the 2 questions I always ask whenever I assimilate any information. Is it real? Is it relevant to me? If it's not real, I don't care. If it's real, then I have to look at level 2. Is it relevant to me? Probably isn't relevant to me. So that's the second thing. Is it relevant? Not is it true? Is it relevant that one building, to my knowledge, has poop trucks in Dubai, living in Dubai? By the way, I've said this before. about the poop trucks. This is so stupid. I've been living in Dubai for almost 5 years now. Two-ish of those years, I was living down what they call downtown Dubai. There's several downtowns. They call it downtown, right next to the Burj Khalifa. I have never seen a poop truck in my entire life. Okay. But even if I saw one, okay, I saw a poop truck. Oh my God, Dubai's terrible. I saw a truck. Cuckoo. All right. Next one. Item number 3. Things that violate the 2% rule. If you are not aware of the 2% rule, I strongly suggest you look on this YouTube channel or my other YouTube channels or my blogs or my books where I talk about the 2% rule. I will summarize it very quickly. Watch those videos. If something has less than a 2% chance of occurring, you ignore it and proceed because it probably won't happen. Otherwise, you would never leave your house because a meteor could fall out of the sky and hit you in the head and kill you. You could walk down the sidewalk and a drunk driver could come up and just run over you. So you better stay in your house 24/7. Well, that'd be insane, right? Right, because you're not following the 2% rule. So people will say things negative about Paraguay, Dubai, various other countries I talk about, and these things have a far, 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 far less than a 2% chance of ever happening. Why are they saying them? Because they don't like these countries. And again, they're reaching as best they can for anything they can think of to tell people how badly these countries are bad because they don't emotionally like these countries. So I'm going to throw a 2% rule thing at you. Dengue fever. If you go to Paraguay, you'll get dengue fever, a yellow fever. What is the percentage probability you're going to get dengue fever? Less than 2%. Not relevant. Proceed. Now, if something is 15% or 22% or 50, that's different. 2%. Here's one about Dubai. I've seen this stated many, many times. You don't want to live in Dubai because if you live in Dubai, if you get in a car accident with an Emirati, they automatically take his side and then you're fucked. All right, let's look at the data and the statistics. A, what is the probability you're going to get into a serious car accident when you live in Dubai? Go ahead. What's the probability you're going to get a serious fender bender doesn't matter. Okay. What is the probability you individually, you, not accidents that occur in Dubai, you? I suggest you do the research. It's a tiny, tiny fraction of 1%. Okay. Unless you live there 87 years. You can live in Dubai 87 years? Probably not. So the time you spend in Dubai, what is the probability you're going to get into a serious car accident? Number 1. But wait, we're not done. You can't just get into a car accident. You got to get a car accident with an Emirati. That is a local, one of the local Arabs who live in United Arab Emirates, who are citizens of United Arab Emirates. In Dubai, Emiratis only make up 8% of the population. And that percent, by the way, gets lower every year as more people move to Dubai. So next year it'll be 7%, then 6%, then 5%. So first you got to set percentage probability you're going to get into a car accident. Then factor that probability by the percentage probability of the 8% chance you're going to get into a car accident with an Emirati. That is more than a fender bender. You're dealing with a tiny, tiny fraction of 1%, well below the 2% rule. Therefore, this is completely irrelevant. People like to say it because they don't like Dubai, or people like to say that about dengue because they don't like Paraguay or South America or Latin people or whatever. They emotionally don't like these countries, so they find little factoids and throw them at you. Say, see. So, to review, I got 2 more. Is it real? Is it relevant? Is it something that the probability is well under 2%? Then you ignore it and move on. That person is full of shit. Okay, next one. Number 4. Things that do not apply to location-independent Westerners. So a common thing you will say, I see this about Paraguay, I see this about Colombia a lot. I'll use Colombia as an example. I think Colombia is a great flag. Is it perfect? No, but it's great. One of the best places in the world to live. Taxes, you gotta be a little careful about that. Colombia is awesome. People in Colombia will say, don't move here. It's fucking terrible here. People are poor. We don't have any money. We can't go to other countries. The banks here suck. It's awful. It's awful. Kayla, how can you possibly tell people to move to this horrible country? It sucks. Yes, it sucks for you. Colombia sucks, kind of, for people born in Colombia who make Colombian wages and are stuck in Colombia. You're right. Paraguay, too. Paraguay kind of sucks for the Paraguayans here. I feel terrible for a lot of them. They make very little money. It's a harder life. It's hard to get visas to go anywhere. Hard to escape the country. It sucks. Are you a low-income third worlder living in a third world country? Is that you? No. You're an American, Canadian, Western European, Australian. These things don't apply to you. So you will see various people attack these countries that only apply to people who are born and raised in those countries. Here's a Dubai example that is a very wealthy country. During the stupid pandemic, the worldwide overreaction to a flu with a 1% death rate, Dubai mandated that everyone who is a citizen of the UAE get the vaccine. If you move there, you'll have to take the vaccine. False. It didn't apply to non-citizen expats, which is me. I am a legal resident of the UAE. I am not a citizen of the UAE and never will be, because that's a violation of Five Flags rules. And this is an example why Five Flags works so well. So I never got to get the vaccine. I never got the vaccine. Many of you fuckers had to get it because you lived in America. I have never got the vaccine. Thank God. A lot of you fuckers had to get it because you live slave lifestyles in the collapsing West. And you're making fun of Dubai. Well, you had to get, no, you didn't. I didn't have to because I live in Dubai. You did because you live in America. It didn't apply to me as a location independent Westerner. So the fourth thing is, does that thing, if it's real, apply to me as a location independent Westerner with Western income, Western education, and a Western passport? Probably not. Okay. Last one are negatives that are real and that are relevant. So what kind of three levels here? Is it real? Is it relevant? The last one is, can it be mitigated? So they say, Dubai's terrible because it's really hot in the summertime. True. Is it true? Yes. Is it relevant? Yes, that is relevant. It's hot there right now. It's fucking hot. Can you mitigate that as a location independent Westerner? Yes. Am I in Dubai right now? It is late June as I record this video. Right now, Dubai is very hot. I'm talking to people all the time. Oh, it's so hot here. I'm not there. Very simple. I'm not fucking there. So when it gets hot in Dubai, I make sure I'm not there. I'm here in Paraguay where it's fucking beautiful. Now today it's a little rainy, but it's been beautiful. I've been here for a few months. It's been amazing weather here because this is the best time to go to Paraguay. So if you're location independent, which is what we teach here at Unchained CEO, guess what? There is a negative of Dubai. It's hot for 3-4 months a year. Then just fucking don't be there. Now, by the way, a lot of people in Dubai leave during these months. They go to the United States, or they go to Europe, or they go where? They go back home where they are. If they're from Asia. I go to South America where it's awesome. And then you go back when Dubai is awesome around September, October, when the weather starts getting great. So sometimes so you have all these lists of negatives. People, Dubai is terrible. Paraguay is terrible. Mexico is terrible. Colombia is terrible. You go through all these negatives. A lot are untrue. A lot don't fucking matter. They're not relevant to you. A lot don't apply to you. And the few that are left that are relevant and are real and do apply, can you mitigate them? Most of the time you can. Sometimes you can't. And here, I'll be honest with you. If you picked good countries, I picked two good countries, United Arab Emirates and Paraguay. These two countries, I've gone through that process. I've eliminated all the ones that weren't true. Most things said about these countries negative aren't true. Ignore the ones that aren't relevant to me, or 2% rule. Okay. The ones that left over, I've mitigated almost all of them. Pretty much all the big negatives I've mitigated. And that leaves a few possible little negatives that are true that you can't mitigate. And they're little, put up with them. That's okay. Those are the little negatives you go through, because it'd be worse if I lived in the collapsing USA. You can put up with a few little negatives of any place you live. There's a few little negatives here in Paraguay. There's a few little negatives in my life for Dubai. I'd rather have those few negatives than the massive number of negatives living in the collapsing USA, cuckoo Canada, suicidal Europe, authoritarian Australia, where everyone's fucking miserable all the time. So that's how you mitigate, and you go through and analyze all the negative shit you see about any countries I recommend, or frankly, any countries other people recommend. When people go, they don't want to move there because of this reason. You run them through those 5 reasons, and you will find very quickly they're not a big deal at all. New video. When you start your location independent business, you're going to be tempted to go after cool, sexy niches like AI and cybersecurity and robotics and 3D printing. That's where your emotions are going to be pulled toward. The problem is, if you do this, the odds of you making money quickly drop like a stone. And in this video, I'm going to explain to you exactly why you don't want to do that. And a better way to do this so you make money much more quickly and much more easily. If you don't know who I am, I'm Caleb Jones, Unchained CEO. I teach people just like you, normal corporate people who've never had a business before in their entire lives, how to set up their own location independent businesses so they can quit their job and be more internationally mobile. Here's how this works. The riches are in the niches. That's true. And one of the things we teach here at Unchained CEO is to only work with a very narrow niche. Because when you niche, you make more money. It's easier to get customers. You can charge higher prices. It's easier to get business when you're new. You get more word of mouth. It's easier to locate your customer base. It costs less on advertising. Win, 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 all the place. Now, here's the problem. What you are probably going to be leaning toward emotionally are niches that are cool. Cool niches like biotech. And like I said, AI, because you're hearing about AI, AI or cryptocurrency. That's fucking cool. Yeah, or 3D printing or robotics. I'm going to go into robotics. Here's the problem with those niches. A, they are highly complex. And so if you're a beginner getting these niches, it's complicated. Do I want you to start a complicated business as your first business? No. You want your first business to be very simple. You want your first business to work well to get from A to the money as quickly as possible, zero to the money as quickly as possible. If you're going after a complex niche, that is less likely to occur. Number one. Number two, these niches are rapidly changing all the time, AI in particular. Whatever you learn in AI is going to be completely obsolete in about 4 months. So do you want to get into a niche where everything is changing every fucking month? Again, we're going back to complexity. That means the odds of you making money very quickly are low because it's harder to make money in these changing niches. Number three, many of these niches are harder to break into. These people are more picky about who they work with because a lot of these niches are in cutting edge technologies and startups where they kind of have their nose in the air. Like, well, I only work with people who da-da-da-da-da-da because we're da-da-da-da. We're building the future here at da-da-da-da robotics. And okay, that's the problem. There are lots of other niches, boring niches we'll cover in a second, that don't have that attitude. That are happy to work with you no matter who you are. So those are three big negatives of going after sexy, complex niches. So here's what you should do instead. You go after boring niches that are fucking boring. If you know who, what's her name? Cody Sanchez. Cody Sanchez made billions of dollars. I'm exaggerating, but a lot of money going after boring companies like car washes. She built an entire internet empire on boring niches. Yes, because the boring niches are where the money is. Several advantages that boring niches have over sexy, cool, awesome niches. Number one, top of the list, they tend to make a lot of money. One of my mentors back in the 1990s when I was a young man is a man named Brian Tracy. And what he used to tell us back then in the 90s, I don't know if this is still true, but this was true in the 90s for many years. He goes, the number one business in the United States, which was responsible for the most amount of self-made millionaires. What type of business can you start where the odds are very high, but you'll be a multimillionaire very quickly? And he would ask the audience, and people said, real estate, banking, and whatever, .coms, and right? All these sexy, cool things. No, the answer was dry cleaning companies, dry cleaning establishments. He goes, no, the boring niches, that's where the fucking money is. Dry cleaning, for example, huge margins, huge. They charge you $3 to press a shirt. How much does it cost them to press your shirt? 2 cents? It's insane. For example, I'm not saying choose dry cleaning as your niche. I'll give you an example of why boring niches are really good. They're extremely profitable, number one. Number two, you can break into them usually very easy. If you're dealing with chimney cleaning companies, that's not very exciting. It's pretty boring. And you're like, I'm going to help you get clients, or I'm going to help you hire better people. They're like, really? You can? They immediately want to talk to you. Instead of the AI CEO, like, excuse me, I do AI. Fuck you. Who's this? Screen is called. They're willing to talk to you because they don't have their nose in the air about how awesome they are. They're fucking roofers and plumbers and construction workers and electricians and shit like that. They're easier to break into. Okay. Next thing, huge. These niches usually are not threatened by AI. If you are a roofer, please don't be a roofer. That's location dependent. Service roofers, don't be a roofer. But if you are a roofer, are you going to be put out of business by AI this year, next year, year after that, year after that, year after that? No, you're not. You're not. Well, Caleb, robots is many decades. I don't have time to go through all the numbers and statistics with you. The ability, we need to create like 1 billion robots before robots actually start putting people out of work. And that's going to be several decades. We don't have the manufacturing capacity anywhere in the world, including Asia and China, to build those many robots. So if you're a roofer, you're good to go for decades. Whereas if you're a copywriter or an attorney or a bookkeeper, you're fucked right now. So the beauty of boring niches is they are not threatened by AI, or at least not for many, many, many decades. I don't want you starting a business and you start making money from clients, you go, yay, and you quit your job, and then AI wipes out your clients. No, you want a business that will be strong for the next several decades, or at least 10 plus years. Like plumbers. Plumbers make a lot of money, by the way. I've worked with plumbing companies. They print money. It's great. So those are 3 advantages you want to use in terms of choosing boring niches versus exciting, sexy, cool, cutting-edge niches. So when you're starting your own location-dependent business, I strongly advise you to go, when you're selecting your niche, to go as boring as you can. And emotionally, you won't want to do it. I'm like, but I want to do robotics. I don't want to work with plumbers. I don't care what your emotions say. Start your business, choose a narrow niche in a boring niche, make several thousand a month, quit your goddamn 9-to-5 job, get location independent, live a great life. Then as your second business, if you still want to work with biotech companies, then go ahead and do that as your second business, but not as your first business when you get from zero to the money as quickly as possible. When we have the 90-day business builder program in our company, in our brand, the 90-day business builder program, the entire point of this is to get you from zero to the money as quickly as possible. You will not do that with complicated, sexy, cool niches that your emotions want you to grab to. Make sense? So choose boring niches, niche in there, make money. You will thank me later. Okay, end video. Let's see. What else I want to say? That's it. Let's do your questions. Hang on a moment. Oh, wait. Yeah, let me talk about my OI training first. I'll answer your questions. I almost forgot it. Hang on. Location dependent. Not location dependent. Outcome independence. Outcome independence is the single highest quality to your success and happiness in life. That is why I've been teaching this concept for more than 15 years now. This reflects both on your happiness and your success. So it does 2 things at the same time. One, when you are outcome independent, when you stop giving a shit, when you stop being concerned about oh my God, I hope she likes me. Oh, I hope they hire me. Oh no, Trump wasn't president anymore. Oh no, I'm so mad. When you stop giving a fuck, 2 things occur immediately. Number 1, you immediately become more successful in your dating life, if that's irrelevant to you, and your business life, getting clients, hiring good people, putting together JV deals. These things all get better when people can tell you don't care. When you're hungry and you need it, or when you act needy or angry or frustrated, people don't like you and it's hard to make money. It does that. Then at the same time, it makes you happier because you don't care. I am, if not the happiest, one of the happiest adults of my age that I know, of any nationality, because why? I'm outcome independent. I don't care. I don't care who the president is. I don't care about what happened to the news last week. I don't care about Iran and Israel. I don't care. If I go on a first date with a gorgeous woman, I don't care if I ever see her again. I'm polite and I'm nice, but I don't care. If I'm on the phone with a possible prospect of someone who may give me a lot of money for one of my products or services or consulting or coaching, what have you, I don't give a shit if that person says yes or no. I don't care, which means the odds of these people saying yes go up. And I'm happy. I don't care. I don't stress all day about this crap that you guys do. By the way, what's the opposite of outcome independence? To be really clear, it's when you feel angry, frustrated, scared, or needy. So if you are regularly experiencing these emotions, you need to learn outcome independence. You're being too outcome dependent. Other people have talked about this besides me. Scott Adams said on his blogs before he went insane with Trump, not giving a shit is as close as you can get to a superpower as a normal human. A Marvel superhero superpower is not giving a shit. Mark Manson wrote an entire book called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. Right? Right. This will make you more money, period. You'll be more attractive to women, period, if you're a man. And it works best on the girls who are pretty. Cool? Cool. So what I'm doing on this Sunday is an outcome independence intensive. This is one of the things you asked me to provide when I did a survey to you guys. several weeks ago, one of the top answers by far was, I need to learn outcome independence. I'm too outcome dependent about stuff. I get mad, I get reactive, I get frustrated, I'm scared, or I get needy, or I get one-itis, or there's lots of variations of being outcome dependent. This is new material I have never covered before in anything else. Caleb, you did an outcome independence thing about 2 or 3 years ago. Yes, this is all, 80% of this is new. There's 20% overlap. New techniques. Some of them are new to me, and I've been teaching this for 15 years. This is new stuff that works. It's a 2-hour live training plus a Q&A at the end, which means it'll go past 2 hours. You will also get a workbook because this is a bigger, complicated topic than just doing a training. I want you to have something written as well. You get the full recording of the training, whether or not you show up to the live training. So if you show up before Sunday, wait till Monday, you get the full training. I have purposely made this cheaper than my other trainings when I charge money. Usually those are $147. This is $97. This is so important. And I hate to say this, I love you guys. The majority of you really need this. I can tell from the comments you guys get on my social media, the questions you ask, the stuff that you're emailing with. I'm like, my God, these guys are outcome dependent as fuck. No wonder they're stressed out and pissed off. And yeah, you need this shit. Okay. www.caleb, you have to type www.caleb.top/OI. It is available right now. It just went on sale this morning. Your deadline is this Sunday at noon. That is June 22nd. June 22nd, noon. You cannot sign up after that. I'm never doing this again. I'm not doing this again. I'm not. It's your last chance. $97. You can afford $97, especially when you're unhappy and you need it. The actual date of the meeting is this Sunday at 5:30 p.m. EST. But that doesn't matter if you can't make it because we'll send you the entire thing. If you don't make it, it's okay. Cool? Cool. All right. That's it. Get your questions here. So you've got about 3 days left to sign up for this. And I made a mistake. I never make mistakes. It was supposed to go on sale this morning at 9 a.m. EST. It didn't go on until about 9:30. Oops, that was my fault. I wish when these mistakes were made in my companies that I could blame my team. Well, my team's a bunch of fucking idiots. They're not. They're awesome. I'm always 80% of the time it's me. It's something I did. I'm like, oh shit. But it's available now. www.caleb.top/OI. Cool. Okay. I'm pretty interested in the new OI training, but I'm pretty new to the subject. In a nutshell, can you explain what OI is? Like, how do you find OI in 1 or 2 sentences? Not giving a shit about the outcome of any individual scenario. So, great question. You are on the phone with a hot prospect who might hire you, who might pay you money. You get them as a client. You do not care at all if they say yes or no. You're going to try. You're going to do your best. But if they say no, you're like, cool. If they say yes, you're like, cool. If you go on a date, if you're a man, and if you're a woman too, if you're a woman going on a date with a hot guy or a guy you really like, okay? Or you're a man, you go on a date and she's like your version of a 10 or a 9. You're like, oh my God, she's so hot. Oh my God. You are on that date. You do not give a fuck if you ever see her again. And it's not an act. You don't care. If I go on a date with a gorgeous woman, I do not care if I ever see her again. And that makes me instantly more attractive. Outcome independence is the single most attractive quality, non-physical, that men have to women. When men don't give a shit. And as I said before, I can't talk about women on this channel, but the prettier the girl, the more it works. So when you don't care, suddenly people find you more attractive, not just the opposite gender, but people of your same gender in terms of business. And you're happier and you're more successful. Now, does that mean you don't care about your goals? No, you care about your goals. So one of my mentors a long time ago was a man named Dan Kennedy. And his example was this. This is a great example for outcome independence. He didn't use this word, but this is his example. He said, when I get on an airplane and I'm in Los Angeles, I'm going to New York, I am 100% confident that I'm going to New York. I'm going to land in New York. I'm not going to land in Guadalajara or Hawaii. I know I'm going to get in New York. Now, there's going to be all kinds of problems during the flight. There might be turbulence. The food might suck. I might have to sit next to a big fat guy. So the details might all be fucked up. But I know I'm going to get to New York. Therefore, I don't care. So when you're outcome independent, you do care about your big goals. I care a lot about my big macro goals. But day to day, my day-to-day experience, I don't care. Don't give a shit. Don't care. Don't care who's president of the United States. Don't care about the news. Don't care about any wars. Don't care. That's it. I'd also like to please request a sentence or two for those of us who feel like we're relatively outcome independent. Sufficient, meaning we think we're as OI as we're going to get. I don't understand the question. That's not a question. Okay, if you already have outcome independence, you don't need to show up for this training. Duh. And you're actually outcome independent. You're not understanding it. On the last live stream yesterday, someone said, I understand outcome independence, so I need to go. I don't care if you understand it. Are you outcome independent? And as I said yesterday, outcome independence does not mean I'm not mad. Something happens, you get fucking mad. You go, okay, I'm not mad. I'm not going to get mad. That's not outcome independence. Outcome independence says you really aren't mad. She shows up 15 minutes late. You go, cool. You're like, you disrespected me. And Andrew Tate says that's outcome dependent. That means you're going to be angry the rest of your life, like Andrew Tate, like Jordan Peterson. You're going to be just pissed off the rest of your life. How do you raise kids if you don't live with them? That's not a topic for this channel. It has to be on my Alpha 2.0 channel. What's the first country you traveled to outside the U.S. and what year? Hong Kong, 2002, I think. I think that's right. In your opinion, what's the most important thing that we'll gain if we're able to incorporate OI into our daily life? Would it be so that we are more effective, able, and more focused on our goal? Not just goals. That's what you gain. Outcome independence is a superpower. All of your big goals, you've just raised the odds, double, triple the odds you're going to hit them if you're outcome independent. In every area of your life, including like your physical life. Every area. That's it. And while you're achieving your goals, you'll be happy. The point of goals is not the goal, it's to be happy. Tony Robbins talks about this. The point of making $1 million is not to make $1 million. It's how you will feel if you have $1 million. You can feel happy now while pursuing $1 million. That's me. I'm happy while pursuing my goals. I teach happiness. So what I teach. In a previous live, you said the collapse could be worse than you predicted. It could be, yes. How worse do you think? Mad Max? No. Apocalypse? No. I do not predict Mad Max or apocalypse. I've been very clear with this. No, I don't. No, I see no data that we're going to have a Mad Max or apocalypse type future outside of the 2% rule. And I don't care about 2% rule. Scaling from 1 to 10, what would you rate the upcoming apocalypse? Less than 1. I am making a contact. What I meant when I said that was the collapse could come sooner and it could be sharper. So if there's a currency crisis, which is what I think will most likely occur, but I could be wrong. It's just a guess, not a prediction. It's going to be much worse than even I think. It's not going to be Mad Max. No. I make a contact list for my niche, can only find 20 plus contacts with AI. Hire a scraper. Do you think widening the search to the whole country? Serbia. Serbia is a pretty tiny market. So in your case, yes. If you're in America, I'd say no. But if you're in a lower end country like Serbia, possibly yes. And hire a scraper on Upwork. I'm focusing only on capital city. Okay. How are we doing on time? I'm going to cut this live stream short today because, well, let me check my schedule here. Yeah, I got to cut this short because I have a meeting with the guys at the Unchained action table very soon. Cool. A few more questions. In your opinion, is there a huge correlation between OI and our ability to handle and endure stress? Massive. Massive. You're stressed because you give a shit. If you're a left-winger and you got stressed because Trump got reelected last year, you're outcome dependent. If you're a Trump supporter and you were stressed, and I know you were, when Biden won back in 22, and you're all pissed off, what the fuck, dude? You're outcome dependent. You shouldn't care. Was I stressed when Trump won? Was I stressed when Trump lost? No, don't care. So yes, immediate change in stress. If you feel stressed, you need to come to this training. You must come to this training if you feel stressed a lot. You are giving too much of a shit. Now, if you're about to be evicted from your apartment, that's valid stress. That's different. But how often does that occur to you in your normal day-to-day life? Rarely. So crypto tax advice is out as a boring niche. Crypto tax advice. That's a gray area. Crypto is sexy. Tax advice is not. So that's a gray area. I don't know. Crypto, cool. Tax advice, boy. Correct. So that's a gray area. I don't have a hard answer for you. From your experience, what do you think is the biggest disadvantage if we're not being outcome? You'll be unhappy. You'll be unhappy, which is what most Westerners are today. They're unhappy. The beauty of my life living in Paraguay and Dubai is that everybody's happy. Damn near everybody. The vast majority of people you run into, talk to, interact, they're happy. You go to America, everyone's pissed off. Everybody. Trump supporters, left-wingers, centrists, rich people, middle-class people, poor people. They're all miserable. They're all angry. They're all pissed off. UK too. UK is a little less bad, but it's pretty unhappy in UK. Australia, Germany, Western world sucks. Certainly Canada, everyone's pissed. America's the worst. Happy. Does being OI directly correlated with how we deal with our fear of failure? Not directly, but close. 50%. I've noticed you've been talking about OI for more than 15 years. That is right. I wonder if there are levels to it. Sure, there are levels. I do it on a scale of 1 to 10. I've joked that on my 1 to 10 scale of outcome independence, I'm an 11. So here's my deal. On a scale of 1 to 10, I was an 11. And that's a little too high. I actually created some problems in my life because I gave too less of a shit. So I learned to kind of like bring it down to 10. Still very happy. Live a good life. Yeah, so it's a 1 to 10 scale. Most of you, I'll be honest, are about a 3. You're about a 3, which is where I used to be. In 2007, before I made some changes in my life, my outcome independence, the scale 1 to 10 was probably around a 3, 2, 3, like most normal Westerners. Yeah. Will you make a video about the Hague Convention? No, because many people are scared about it. No, only you are. Or does it fall in your 2% rule? I'm pretty sure it's 2% rule because I barely even know what you're talking about. So no. Does your TRT protocol, I don't answer those questions on this channel. It seems that some people get annoyed at OI. Yes. Yes. Westerners will be very annoyed if you're OI. Absolutely. Especially Americans. Absolutely. At OI, people, if they're outcome dependent, I know of people who really care about politics and they don't like it and say, why don't I care? How do we handle that? If you're outcome dependent, you won't care. You see how this works? You think I care? If people in America go, you don't care who the president is, don't you care about him? These right-wingers, you don't want to stand and fight for your country. And these left-wingers, you don't care about poor people and teachers and black people. And do you think I care when they say that? I just smile and laugh at them because I'm outcome independent. So if you're outcome independent, you would not even ask that question. Space-time. You would not even have asked that question. The fact you asked that question tells me you're outcome dependent. You shouldn't care what people think. People like to say, I don't care what people think. It's all people care about, especially today on Instagram, post-Instagram culture. People are obsessed with what people think. Obsessed. I don't give a fuck. Have you seen my apartment? I don't give a fuck what people think. I don't own a car. I can afford a lot more than this. Look at this beautiful background. I wear the same shirts and I don't care. Okay, a few more questions. How do you learn to not care when bad things happen to your friends and family? That's not outcome dependence. If you feel sad that something happens to your daughter and you feel sad for your daughter, that's called empathy. That's okay. I don't have much of that, but that's okay. That's okay. If you're stressing all the time about what happens to your uncle, you're outcome dependent. See the difference? I think I'd like to join the action group in a few weeks. A bit more funds, currently formulating vision for rapid launch. Sometimes I feel like I'm taking a long time on it. Okay, cool. Yeah. Unchained action table. You can sign up whatever you want. I will raise the price soon. So don't wait forever. Caleb.top/UAT. That's my very next meeting after this live stream is talking to the Unchained guys, Unchained action table guys. I've been talking to them on Telegram last few hours. Do you ever feel less productive when traveling? I not feel less productive. I am less productive. You have to be. Yes. Staying in airports and planes, etc. Yes, you are less productive. Correct. How do you try to stay productive during travel? Do you try to have internet Wi-Fi in the plane? I've addressed this. Good question. So 2 things. Level 1 to that answer. Answer number 1 is you plan on being less productive. I make a jaunt between South America and Dubai twice a year, right? Once in May, once in October. I'm going to do it again in late September. I'm going to be on the plane. I got to fly to Sao Paulo from Asuncion, Paraguay, and then I have to spend the night at the airport. I got to wake up and I have a 14-hour flight back to Dubai. Then I'm going to be jet lagged for a day or 2. Okay. So I know during those 3-4 days, I'm going to be less productive. I cannot be super Caleb like I typically am. Super Caleb's going to take a little break for a few days while I make that transition and I make it okay. So that's number one. Number two, you do the best you can within this reduced level of expectations. So do I get internet on the plane? If it's a long flight and it's available, yes, I do. I do. Do I work the entire time on the plane? No, I get sleepy and stuff. I'm not going to try to be as productive as I normally am, but I am going to get work done. I absolutely get work done on the plane. If I'm on the plane 14 hours, I'm getting some work done. Am I going to work for 14 hours? No. I'm going to be sleepy. I'll watch some dumb movies. That's the answer. Does the new training increase? Does the new training on does the new technique on the techniques, not in one, there's many, increase your OI level? Yes. Yes, dude. That's the entire point. Okay. From level 11, from what level to 11 now? It doesn't increase mine. Mine can't increase. It will increase yours, not mine. Will increase yours? Yes, that's the point of the training. Yes, we'll increase mine. What's your difference between your OI level of years ago and now after you implemented the new technique? An example, I don't need these techniques. These techniques are for you. I don't need them. I've talked to other people, like in my coaching stuff. I don't need these techniques. I don't need them. I've been OI at a 10 or 11 for what, 15, 17 years? They're not for me. They're for you. I notice you have a wide range of colors of shirts. No, I don't. That's an illusion. I have 2 colors. I have literally 3 shirts, 3 different colors. I have blue, I have that one t-shirt white one, and I have this beige one. I have 2 of these that are the same color. I don't wear a lot of shirts. I got like 3 shirts in my closet because I don't care. Are all these consistent with your colors that are best for your skin tone? The white one isn't, but the white one has some gray. But again, I don't care. I talk about skin tone over my dating stuff when you go on a first date. Am I on a first date right now? Trying to get laid? No. So I don't care how I look. And even on dates, I don't care anymore. Now I wear whatever the fuck I want. Because I don't care. What's the difference between OI and just being a chill, carefree guy in general? There's a lot of overlap for those 2 things. There's a lot of overlap. The chill, carefree guy in general tends to be outcome independent. In your revised Alpha 2.0 book, you instruct on how you built your vision. Yes, just to rehash, I know you say brainstorm everything on paper to minute detail. Yes, and then tailor. Yes. How long is the final vision? How long is my vision? It used to be 2 pages. I've knocked it down to about 1.5 pages. No, you know what? No, it's about 2 pages. It's not quite 2 pages. If you're asking about my personal vision, 2 pages. There's no minimum or maximum size. It can't be 1 sentence. It can't be 1 paragraph. It needs to be a page, but it could be 4 pages. Every guy's different. Depends how particular you are. It could be 1 page, 3 page. Mine's about 2, not quite 2 pages. And it, fluctuates because you can modify your vision. You can't modify your mission, but you can modify your vision. That's fine. You will change. I'm 53. Do I want the exact same things for my life at age 53 that I wanted when I was 30? No. So as time goes, you can change your vision and you need to. All right. Last question. I got to go. I don't feel scared about the Hague Convention, Caleb. Yes, you do, because you're asking about it. I believe you've asked about it before, if my memory serves. That's the law about international child support. I remembered you covered it shortly in the live stream. Just wanted to hear more details about it. I have literally know what you're talking about. I don't care, and you shouldn't care. So, speaking of not giving a shit, join me on Sunday. I'm going to change your life on Sunday. If you do what I tell you, if you just sign up for the session and go, this was awesome, and don't do it, well, then you're a dumb fuck. But if you sign up for the session, you join the session, or you watch the recording, and you do what I tell you, you will be more successful and you will be happier, which is the umbrella of everything I teach here. Okay. All right. I was just wondering why you're a cool guy. You have no business being so criminally free. Thank you, Caleb. You're very, very welcome. And my freedom is a result of specific systems I've placed in my life. Alpha Male 2.0, Unchained CEO, 5 flags. And if you do the same thing, you will be just as free and happy as me. Many of you are. I like to bash you guys sometimes, but there's a lot of you in my audience who have achieved these things, and you're very happy. You know who you are. Cool? All right. www.caleb.top/OI. You have until Sunday to sign up. And then I'm not doing this again. See you on Sunday. Maybe.